Hello guys, welcome back to Let's Go Far Together. Today we're going to be using the guys on red and we're going to be talking about the 4-4-2 formation that was requested by a dear subscriber, and I hope you enjoy this. It's for everybody or whoever is interested in this formation. We'll have obviously the goalie, two fullbacks, two center backs, two DMs. Ideally want the smaller attacking than the other, but we'll go into that later when we talk about the variations of the system. It'll be two strikers and two outside midfielders. And that is the 4-4-2. If you want to think about it more linear, this will be it, but ideally you're looking more like this. This is a very basic and very simple formation, and to the best of my understanding, it was very popular or at its peak in the 70s with pretty sure 1970 in the World Cup with Brazil, who actually went on to win that World Cup. But that history aside, this is a very good and very solid formation, and it requires for everyone to just know there's simple things that they have to do. We don't have to worry too much about triangles, because as you can see, yes, you can form triangles, but more than anything, the way this formation works, you make partnerships rather than working about triangles and different tactical things. This operates on partnerships. Right here, you have your two center backs. These guys are partners. These guys are partners, and as you can tell, if you look at the length of the pitch, we have a lot of players through the central areas. We have partners right here, and we have partners right here. And in here, we'll have our, obviously, the goalie, 4-4-2. What I need you to understand about this is that we need our players to just know the basics. This is a very good formation for when you're starting, or if you just getting up with some friends to play at the park and you just want to get somewhat organized instead of just everybody plays striker or everybody plays the number 10. We all want to be those positions, or most of us anyway. But this way, you assign your team on a way that is useful for the team. You take each individual player and put them where they can actually serve the team. And like I said, it's great because it works on partnerships. So all you have to do is have a good understanding with these guys will work with these guys too, or with this guy, but there isn't a whole lot of diagonal moves. We need a goalkeeper who can be a good shot stopper. As you can tell, we got 4 at the back. Yeah, if he can pass the ball, that's phenomenal. But we don't need him to be a big part of our build-up like an Ederson or I'm drawing blank. The Liverpool goalkeeper. He's injured right now. Oh my goodness. Alisson. Okay, so you don't need him to be, or like Onana, for those of you Manchester United fans. You don't need him to be that guy. You just need him to be good at shot stopping and be able to pick a pass on the sidelines, obviously, if we get under pressure and we need to pass it back to him. But that's it. You just need him to be a good shot stopper, give us security, and make us feel safe at the back. We got 2 center backs who, again, we don't need to be phenomenal on the ball or be very strong on the build-up or be really good at coming into the midfield to form a back 3 or anything like that. To start with, again, this is the beginning of the 4-4-2 or the basics. So for the starters, there will just be 2 center backs who are, their main job is just to defend. When we are in a defensive transition, get compact, and be ready to header balls out or just clear the lines. Ideally, to the sides, as we have a lot of players here, and if we play against a system that has 3 and we don't drop our 10, we're going to be on a disadvantage in the center mid. But we'll go into that when we talk about the disadvantages of the system. We need fullbacks, okay, our left back and our right back. We need fullbacks who are very athletic, have good stamina, and ideally, when we're on attack, I say when these guys are out here supporting the attack, these guys can do overlaps, so we can send that pass and then we can send a crossover, because as you can tell at the back, even if we have all this guy, even if this guy completely leaves his space, these guys can shift over and we'll be completely fine, obviously, as everybody moves up the pitch, because we still have a good foundation at the back to be able to defend. But we need athleticism, and we need ideally that they can cross and put a good ball across, or if anything, just to get to the byline and make a pass back, which that's better, and that's the way I like to play. Most of goals you get from crosses, they come from balls on the ground rather than magical headers like from Isak, or even Haaland doesn't score a lot of headers. Most of his work is done with his feet. We have the 2 DMs, with one, we need like a Casemiro type guy, someone that's strong, can break out play, recover the ball, and from there try to find his fullbacks or try to find his partner, who should be the other midfielder, should be a bit more creative. Not so much as a number 10, but somewhat like that. Someone that can make a good pass and you see once this guy wins the ball, he can pass it here and combine with these 3 guys over here he's got, or make a pass, get a bounce, and then put a ball in behind for the right-sided midfielder, who, as you can tell now, when we are attacking in transition, if these guys do their job and they support the attack, we will have a lot of numbers out there, and we should be able to stretch the defense. But anyways, that's what you need from your midfielders. Just the basic, just for you guys to know your basic responsibilities of what you're supposed to do. If you're a fullback, again, you gotta make those, we call them dummy runs. In English, sounds worse because in Spanish it's called a pasada, which means that you just pass the player to get the ball. In English, sounds kind of offensive to say it's a dummy run, but it's the way of the language. Don't blame me. I just learned it. It's my second one. But anyway, these guys to be able to overlap, make dummy runs, because you're not always going to get the ball, but what you will do is once you go past him up here in attack, more than likely what you'll do, you'll make a defender move, and then this guy can go on attack the back line, or he can come more central and then send you the ball. You're not always going to get the ball when you're making the run, hence what is called a dummy run. Now, we have 2 wide midfielders who ideally we will want to be good on the ball, be good at crossing. On a 4-4-2 formation like this, I wouldn't recommend, or I wouldn't want to use them as your wingers on a 4-3-3, where they have to invert and shoot, or cut in and shoot, like say inverted wingers, where this guy is a right-footed playing on the left, and this one is a left-footed playing on the right. If they just stay on their strong foot, so this one ideally should be a left-footed, this one should be a right-footed, just so when we can come up here, we can just whip crosses in, because we have 2 strikers, and one of them, and we'll talk about it later, but one of them should be able to support more into the midfield and the build-up of the play. But ideally, we want these guys to be able to dribble, be able to have pace, and get up there, and not to have star syndrome, where they're going to hang up here after an attack and leave this guy to die on his own when he's getting attacked by the winger and a cam or a fullback from the opponent team. So we need these guys right here to be disciplined and get behind the line of the ball when we lose it, to where everybody is compact. Now, with that being said, as you can tell, we got our two strikers. Now, ideally, most of the time, it works somewhat like so, where this guy bounces around and helps wherever is needed to create, to be able to get out. Because if we leave these guys out like that, or especially if they get high, and these guys don't go and support, then they're very isolated and they'll never actually get the ball, because more than likely what's going to happen is the opponent's team backline is just going to close down, and now they got 2-on-2 instead of, when we support, we force these guys to come out, and then we have spaces for this guy to put passes into these channels, and we can actually attack. Because anytime we create a one-on-one situation, especially through the center, it's a golden opportunity to score. Or even on the wing, if we can put it here and then we just cut it across, and we should be able to control that, as it's very difficult to defend when you're running towards your own goal for a defender. But this guy can win a ball, drop it in for his teammate, for his other striker, and then put a ball in behind. So this guy operates more like a cam. Think like a Lautaro Martinez when he was with Lukaku. Lukaku was the main guy, and then Lautaro Martinez just hangs around to win the second ball. So, for instance, if there is a clearance, and this guy looks to just header it, just to flick it past the line, and then Lautaro Martinez gets a lot of his goals like that. So, but we just need, ideally, for them not to have the same characteristics. One of them should be a strong, good finisher, and the other one should be a more agile, pacey. Sorry about that. Pacey guy who can cover ground and attack the back line and just be smart, be an intelligent player, and move in between the spaces. Now, the advantage of the system, as I said earlier, we have a lot of players through the central areas. It's very easy to coach in the for the main part, because we have partnerships everywhere rather than depending on a triangle and finding the third man, which a lot of the younger kids don't understand how you're supposed to get the ball to this guy. If he's marked, they don't really get to just pass it to this guy, and then this guy will find this guy, or pass it to this guy and this guy will drop it, and then we go forward. But those are concepts that even on this system you can teach your kids, but they not extremely necessary in this system, as it's very, very solid in defense. And when we are counter-attacking, we are able to cause trouble and break lines. Now, if we don't take our chances, it's a system that will get you in trouble, because just by its basic form, it's very defensive. Now, like I was saying, an advantage is that we can stretch the guys. Once we have the ball, these guys need to always be staggered. So once we have the ball, we can go like so, and we can win a lot of, we can keep a lot of possession by just having all this like this and having overlaps. If the ball's over here, then we have an overlap on this guy, and then this guy can run in, and this guy can just be back here supporting in case there's a drop or anything like that. But the disadvantage of it is that if we stay flat, like for example, if we're playing against a 4-3-3 with a DM, two attacking, and the striker. If we're playing against a system like this, and we keep our lines flat, if we stay like this, we're defending and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. If we go, we leave this guy free to be able to do whatever he wants. If we stay high and try to win it here, Then we leave these two guys open to then have a 5 versus 4 at the back, which ideally we shall not want. At any time we lose the ball, we should have our players come back to where it's compact, 4 lines. These guys get tight, the back line gets tight, and these guys worry about the wingers with this guy supporting. Not the other way around. Not like this and then this guy staying here. This guy goes and makes the pressure and this guy supports, so when we drive into the line, we can win it. If we drive into the center, we should be able to win it too, because we have this guys here and now he's going on a 4v1. But if this guys, the wide midfielders, if those guys are not solidary with their fullbacks, then they can leave us exposed, because then, for example, if this guy stays here, then he goes on a 1v1 unless we pull this guy. But if we pull this guy, we leave a space here for the striker to attack. If we drop this guy, then we leave that guy completely open. And even if they shift, they can use the drop, again, third man concept, and get around us and have a 1v1 on the other end, or make this guy, force this guy to step and make that pass. So to get around that, to avoid that from happening, what I would do, again, this is our formation, 4-4-2. What I would do is drop this guy in and play it like a diamond. Okay, think like Real Madrid last year when they won the Champions League. A lot of the times this is how they were doing, with Bellingham here, Kroos here, Camavinga and Valverde, and they control the midfield by staying like this. Now, you could say you lose on the sides because you have this guys coming like with a 2v1, but if this guy comes all the way up here, we can shift. As you can tell, we can shift, or we can shift this way, and then we give them that free man there, but our striker can pick him up, because like we said, this guy should be mobile. And yes, I understand defensively they can pass it back over here, and then we only have one guy to make the pressure, but ideally you want to force the pressure to the way we have numbers. So just cancel that pass out, cancel this pass out, and make them pass that way, and then we can go and press. But that is how I would win the midfield. Drop your 6 to mark their attacking midfielder or their striker, so they don't pin us. Sorry. Yeah, that was my other striker. You drop your DM, and you make your midfielders tuck in and play like center midfielders, and that way you are one-on-one on the midfield. And like I said, this is very easy to correct or to help this guy still if this guy's in trouble, because this guy can still come and support here, and then we just shift like so to try to win it here, or stay like that and just force him to play it back and find another route. And as always, don't stay, if you're a fullback, don't stay wide like this, tuck in, and then if there is a cross like that, then we can still shift, and we should be able to still keep control of the midfield no matter what. So that is the disadvantage of it. If you don't make tactical changes on the play, you will lose the midfield, and if you lose the midfield, you will lose in the back. I hope you guys understand that, and I hope this was a good video for you guys. And this is what I would do if I was to use the 4-4-2. I would use a diamond, because as I mentioned before, on our team, playing with 2 DMs has not worked for us, because my players, if this guy goes to help the attack, this guy doesn't tuck in, to cover the defense. But when we have one single DM, it works really good for us because we're very disciplined at protecting the defense, and we are very good at helping our teammates when they are in trouble. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, and thank you for doing so. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know if you want me to make any other kind of video about something else, or what other formation you would want me to talk about. Thank you guys. God bless you.